Welcome back, team. Today we are going to discuss a concept, especially so far we keep all our modules in a single repository or the single folder, or that is what exactly our execution happened, right? If you refer our diagram here, right, team? So if you recall this diagram, so what are the diagram I'm highlighting on the screen? In our previous discussions, I think we clearly mentioned the Postgres DB as one module, subnet as one module, private DNS as one module. All these three modules you kept under the one folder, and your root folder is also sitting in the same place, right? If you are unable to recollect, no worries. I think I can show that. Okay. So fine, maybe yep, something like this. If you see this particular part, team. Okay, so here you are seeing under modules Postgres DB, private DNS, subnet, and corresponding to the root directory where you are seeing a root, which is a main.tf and tfs and the variables, right? This was the simulation exactly we did 2 sessions before. Now the point here is, again, keeping all the modules, what are the modules? So these are independent modules only, right? These are independent module. It is just helping us to provision a Postgres DB. It is just helping us to provision a private DNS shown, helping us to provision a subnet, right? But the point is, do we really need to keep these three things here? Is it really needed? That's what exactly we need to think about. And why we need to think in this way. It is highly advisable to maintain your modules in a separate repository. It is highly advisable. And also, if you keep all your modules in another repository, you will get some benefits out of it. Okay, let's discuss those things first. Alright, so I'm just keeping modules repo. Okay, so a separate repository. It's a separate repository. For example, this is one repository and you have another repository, team. This is what your main repo or primary repo. I can say it's a primary repo. Okay, primary repo. So now the thing is, this is a common code, a common module, right? Maybe tomorrow you got another project where you want to make use of the modules which are already sitting in this particular repository. Of course you can. So this is for project A and this is for project B. So your project B also comfortably make use of your common modules. So that's exactly the use case which I can say you are going to provide a modularity and reusability. So that's the first thing usually you will get with this particular by separating the repository, team. So the first one is the modularity and reusability. So what does it mean exactly? See, by keeping your modules in the separate repository, it's promoting your modularity, and also it is allowing you to reuse the modules in this project as well as in this project as well, right? So in these three projects, you can make use of these modules. That is absolutely possible, team. Okay, absolutely possible. Because you are not keeping any kind of dependencies here. You are not locking any dependency at this repository. It is just individual independent components which you are keeping, which obviously helps us to reduce the redundancy in the code, right? And also you can make sure the consistency across the infrastructures as well. So that's the benefit number one usually you can get with by separating your modules in a separate repository. Okay, maybe let's deep dive furthermore. So what exactly additionally you can get? Okay, you can get furthermore to this one, centralized maintenance. Okay, so meaning that, for example, team, let me give one scenario. Okay, maintenance. Okay, so let me give one scenario. For example, from Azure side, so today you are dealing with Azure cloud. If some changes happen from the Azure cloud point of view where they are telling they added additional feature, simply you need to come and make use that particular, enable that particular feature, adding that feature or updating the feature in this repository. That solves your case. You don't need to really worry about the modules or the repositories or the other projects where these things are being used. You don't need to worry about those. You can simply come here, you can modify, okay, I just want to enable a particular feature. Of course you can. For example, let me tell you one thing. For example, this is a Postgres database. Let's assume this particular repository consisting of Postgres database. In this project, you want to enable the backup. In this project, you don't want to enable the backup. Maybe two different scenarios I'm considering based upon your project. So, obviously you can override your variables here, right? That is absolutely possible by using your TFS. Of course, that is what the TFS is doing. So the TFS corresponding to this project, dev, SIT, U8 is different. And also TFS which belongs to another project is also a different one, where you will tell, oh, I don't require any backup. You can simply switch off that particular feature. You'll just set that one as a false. In that way, you can completely control this one team, okay? Right. And also the next additional one, you can make use of the security and the access control, okay? So by keeping this one separately in another repository team, okay, you obviously can provide some sort of security. You know how? So especially, let me fill it in, okay. So especially, for example, let's consider a scenario. For example, your modules and the main repository both are together. Obviously, the person who don't need to see these modules, of course, he is able to see. If you keep these two things together in a single repository, and you don't want to give any kind of access to that person to see your modules. Okay, of course, you can keep those things in a separate repository where you are providing some sort of security and some sort of access control as well. So these things are absolutely possible if you could maintain your repository in a separate one team. Okay. Right. So these are the benefits usually you will get if you could maintain your modules in a separate repository. Okay. Hey, hello team. So why I got unmuted? Guys, able to hear me so far? I just saw I got unmuted. Guys, hello.
We couldn't hear you for a while, Dinesh.
How long it is actually?
10 seconds, maybe 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah. 10, 15 seconds. Okay. These things, security access control I placed or not yet placed? I typed this one or not?
Yep.
I typed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. No worries. Okay. So I believe the security and access control is the additional one, which you can definitely achieve some security if you separate your modules in a separate repository team. Okay, that is absolutely possible. And also you can block the users not to access this specific to this particular repository, and you can completely control their access. Right? This is absolutely possible if you could separate your code. So this is simply like you are using a common code across all your modules or services in your real-time backend or front-end applications, where you don't want to repeat the code. You want to keep such code in a repository where you want to make use of that code. That's exactly the concept behind it. Okay. So to simulate this one, what we need to do? So we need to go and we need to attempt a few techniques here. Okay, what exactly we need to? First and foremost thing, you need to you should be able to check in your code to the separate modules repository. That's the step number one. Okay, let's go to the portal and let's try to check in the code to a new repository. Okay, I'm just going. So firstly, what we are going to do here, let's create a repository. Okay, let's create a repository, and especially I'm going to create a repository as Azure modules. Okay, some repository I'm creating. This repository will only talk about the modules. Okay, that's exactly the objective of this particular repository. So step number one, let's clone the code to your virtual machine. Let's clone the repository and we'll push our modules. Okay, that's what exactly we will do. Okay, so I already connected to the virtual machine. What exactly I will do? Let me clone this one. Clone. Let's clone it. So it's asking for the password. So copy the token. Just go there. Just provide. All right. So once you're here, I believe it's Azure modules. Okay, that's what exactly you need to look for. And especially interestingly, this module folder, right? What are the folder you are seeing? at this level. I'm just copying the folder, Control C. You just go to your Azure-modules, Control V. That's it. Okay, you just pasted the code. That's it. Next one, git add. Okay, you need to go inside, right? Azure modules, git add. Let me increase the font a bit. Okay, git commit. Azure modules, and finally git push. Okay, so just go back to the repository and copy the token. Just provide the token. That's all. Awesome team. Okay. Sorry. Right. So once you push your code to the repository, please reload. Okay. Awesome. See, you push your code to the repository. So your task is done. So step number 1, you completely isolated your modules. You completely isolated your modules into the separate repository. What is the next step? Next step is you need to maintain your primary repository, which is helping us to just provision our resources. Okay, this is the control exactly. So to just maintain this one, obviously you will go back to your repository. So whatever we have already, I'm just going to the virtual machine. Okay, so here if you see this one, right team, here there is a folder which is the one Terraform repo module example. Now these modules are no longer required for me. Okay, I'm just deleting this one. This is not required because I'm going to invoke all the modules specially from that repository. That's my goal. All right, fine. So in this repository, you are seeing only two things. You can keep these 3 things outside also, team. Okay, I'm just copying this one. I'm just keeping outside of this one. I'm deleting this one also. Not really needed this folder level. Okay, you can delete that one. So, cool. Now if you see this one, there is a pipelines. That's really good, and followed by dev related was and root variables. That's it. Okay, those are the things. Correct. I'm deleting the remaining all the things whatever is here. I'm simply deleting all those things. Okay, because those things are really not needed. I can create one more time also. Okay, I'm deleting remaining things and all. Right. So this is very clean now, where you are seeing under the Terraform repo, you are seeing pipelines, dev and SID corresponding to that, and dev and root and these things and all. Okay, I'm deleting the readme also, which one give it. Now it's very clear for you. Cool. Now the point is, now if you see the pipelines, that's very clear, which we tested also. Forget about that. And if you come here, what exactly we are optimizing the code. We are using our code efficiently. That is what exactly we are trying for. So now first thing what you need to do, go to root.ef. Okay, whatever the root.ef you have, go to root.ef. Yeah. So under root.ef, I believe, now if you recall this particular part, team, earlier you could see you was using source equal to double quotes .modules / Azure subnet .modules. That's what exactly you invoked each and every module, if you recall. Now you don't need to worry about these cases. Simply you need to give a source with HTTPS protocol. That's what exactly you need to make use. But how you make use of HTTPS protocol? Now you just go back to your repository, team. Okay, once you go back to the repository, whatever the module repository you have, you go there, just clone this particular part. Now copy that and just go back to your drawing screen. There I just pasted the endpoint. So whatever the endpoint which I copied. Okay. So now team, if you refer this particular thing, this is exactly telling you, this is the project @ this is corresponding to the DevOps organization endpoint, and followed by again the project and corresponding to this organization. There you can see especially a module, Azure-module is the repository. But you know one thing, what exactly you need to look for ILTL. Generally, when you refer this particular thing, what are the source I'm just highlighting for you, I can explain how exactly this particular thing being derived. Firstly, you just go to your modules, open any one of the module. Now, once you open the module, you just look for your endpoint here. Okay. Now, when you are cloning your repository, so what exactly this is just giving an endpoint, right? Just giving an endpoint. This is what exactly your organization name at the rate dev.azure.com. Okay, fine. But when you want to clone your project, see your problem now here is, here your modules are there, module subnet. Earlier you have simply pointed your code in the inside another folder, but now you are pointing your code in the another repository. That's the only difference. This is very easy to handle. Now what you need to do, you just follow the same thing, git colon https / this is what your pad token team, this is what your pad token, this pad token being generated. You just go there, if you come here, just clone generate credential, here you can see the pad token, copy that and just provide the pad token here, pad token at the rate of dev.azure.com. okay, remaining things are same only, I'm not changing anything. dev.azure.com / whatever the name you are seeing, followed by another name underscore git Azure modules. I'm just coming up to here, this particular thing / underscore git. It's not modules, it's Azure modules, point number 1, and followed by, now you should understand a bit. So you came so far, you just simply you can copy this one and you can use up to repository. That's the first point. But ultimately, what is this module you're talking about? You're talking about a module called subnet. So to point the subnet, you need to point exactly your subnet path, where exactly it is. This is what your subnet path. You came up to here, Azure modules is here, exactly repository. Then whenever you want to pointing any of your module structure, so this is sitting inside a modules, right? See, whenever you are going subfolders, folder structure, what you need to do, always it's very much better if you could provide /. Okay, always remember. So if you are going to the subfolders level, you just pass modules is the next folder which I am seeing at this level. Yes, under modules again you are seeing Azure /subnet. okay, I am removing this one, this is no longer required. This is what exactly your connection. The last one you don't need to point again the /. So you're just telling Azure modules, you are going inside the folder structure, and again you are just looking for another folder which is inside. If you keep the / also, nothing will happen, it will work. Okay, so just / is indicating that you are going at the subfolder level. Okay, that's what the exact indication. All right, cool. So whatever the thing you just defined here, okay, I'm just copying the same thing. Just copy that. This is a private DNS zone. Okay, all right, I'm just coming here. You just come here, just delete this one, just paste over there. And especially if you come here, this is what private DNS zone. You need to go to the private DNS zone module. No, you just come back here. Here is our private DNS zone. So just come and click on 3 dot and go for the rename. Copy that and just go back and paste over there. That's all, team. The next one is the Postgres DB. Again, copy this particular part, whatever you just defined. I'm again coming here. I'm removing this particular part also. I'm just pasting, but this is a Postgres DB which you need to refer the repository. Okay, here you are not referring any of your other folder structures, team. You are directly referring your repository. Now if you come here, click on 3 dot, click on the rename, just copy that and go back here. There I'm just coming here, just remove this particular part and paste it here. Awesome. Now what you achieve, you are looking for a module where that is sitting in a separate repository. That's what exactly your goal is now. What will happen the moment when you apply the Terraform init will clone the code from this repository link. It will clone and it will store in your .terraform file. That one will be generated. It will store inside, and that one will be make use when you are really applying the Terraform plan on this one, Terraform apply on this one. That's exactly the sequence will be followed now, team. Okay. So to make use of this particular part, So alright, so now I'm just going inside your repository. This is what you need to go inside. No, copy path. I'm just going here. You just go inside Terraform repo. Sorry, you need to go inside of this particular thing, right? Let me double check which one we are just referring. Sorry, let me double check which one we are referring exactly. Is it this one or this one? Okay, I think both are same only, no problem. Okay, I'm just going, I think this is the one exactly you're referring. No worries, team. This one also same, this is also same. Fine. And especially, you know very well, the first thing is the Terraform init only. I told you already the point here. When you apply the Terraform init, it will just clone the repository module code into your local directory. That's what exactly it will look for. Okay, you just wait for a while. See, I think it is just cloning all those things. See, all those. This is what exactly is downloading. It's downloading. It's downloading. So you can see there is a .terraform code. If you open the Terraform code, there you are seeing modules. There you are seeing PostgreSQL private DNS zone subnet and all. So that's exactly the advantage here, team. See, these modules are being downloaded at the runtime. You're not downloading those things. You're not keeping those things in your repository. You're not keeping that. Those things will be downloaded at the runtime when you apply the Terraform init. And obviously, the next use case would be Terraform plan -var -file. You will obviously give your file path, right? This is what your file path, okay? Copy the path. You just provide the path. Okay, what are the path you are seeing? Just provide that particular thing. Now the case is normal thing only, team. So here onwards, obviously plan. It will tell you the plan. That's a normal thing only, which you know very well. And finally, you will go for the Terraform apply. The same thing -var -f. Sorry, -r -file is equal to the path of the TFS. So obviously now it will proceed for the provisioning part. See, now the concept what exactly I'm trying to highlight for you is, if you keep your modules in a separate repository, that would be the best use case which you can achieve some benefits like modularity, reusability, centralized maintenance, and your code revisions and the security access control. These are the benefits usually you will get if you could keep all your modules in a separate repository. And those modules can be used across your multiple projects. If you are having the project A, project B, project C across your organizations, you can make use. But this is one-time effort only, right? It's a one-time effort. You don't need to be frank, you don't need to customize anything here. You can control the customization from here, That's what exactly the thing I'm trying to highlight. All right, team. Thank you for the session. See you in the next part.